I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Man, we're at episode 165.
Woohoo!
In the studio today, Jim White, Brother Dave White, and Super Dave Weldon. Good morning, men.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. Top of the day.
In our usual fashion, we're going to kick it off like a couple patriots and start off with the pledge.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making the good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comforts of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Episode 164, 272 downloads. That's down a little bit, but, coming back after a 2-week break to be expected. We are at 87.2 thousand total downloads. We are currently at 668 followers. So that number keeps growing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's heading into 2025, and you're right. We're not full bore yet. Still missing some days. Not everybody here, so still had a lot of listens. That's good, or downloads.
I like it. Do you guys want to go over the Spotify stats now?
Sure.
All right. 2024 Spotify final stats. This doesn't include Podbean or Apple. This is just Spotify. We were up 9% listeners and 9% streams. We're up 68% followers. And episode 127, Shake the Winter Off, It's Time to Go to Work episode, was the top episode of the year.
Oh, wow.
We got to look to see how many it had, but that was the number one episode. And we were streamed in 9 different countries.
What?
Wow.
So,
Worldwide.
it's pretty cool, if you ask me.
Yeah, especially if you do the 65%, Jam. I mean, if you just looked at, we had a 50% uptick,
Right.
and we're at 65. I mean, 50%'s a lot.
I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, remember I was telling you guys I did that orientation a couple weeks ago. So I was asking one of the new guys if he's going to join the 401k. And he got real nervous and he started sweating a little bit. I was like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'll do it, but I've never ran that far.
I knew you were leading into that. I didn't bite that time, Jim. Usually I do, but not that one.
I think I had Jim there for a second.
Oh, Chief.
Do you know what Spartacus thought when the lion ate his wife?
No.
Gladiator.
Oh, yeah, Gladiator. That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I think I ran across that one, Jam. Couldn't even think of it,
So
though.
funny.
Time for the dad joke challenge, guys.
Right?
Well, I was enjoying my cup of coffee this morning, and I was like, what about coffee jokes? What kind of coffee jokes are there? So what do you call gossiping coffee pots?
Doing Java or something. Percolator or something, huh?
Spilling the beans.
Oh, man.
Oh, and what did the coffee say to their date?
Huh.
Perk up.
Hey there, hot stuff. And my last one is, what do coffee beans say to their Valentines?
Boy, Valentine's Day is coming up, huh?
Right?
It
Right. I
is.
thought about that. That's the reason I threw it in there.
Mhm.
Yep. You keep me grounded.
That's too funny.
Yeah, we got a couple people requested Friday the 14th off. I'm like, oh, you romantic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Oh,
What I ran across two of them. Well, the one I just really liked, and I'm pretty sure we've done it before, or probably I've done it before, but this other one I had Jim in mind, even though it's the dead of winter, it's a golf joke. But it says this man visited his doctor, and the doctor checked him over, and before commenting, he says, "It looks like you get a fair bit of exercise." And the man replied, "Oh yeah, in fact, just the other day, I walked 5 miles over rugged terrain. I climbed over rocks and trees. I also waded along the edges of lake and pushing my way through tall thistles. I even slid down sandy slopes while getting sand in my eyes." The doctor was quite impressed. He says, "Well, you are certainly a dedicated outdoor enthusiast." And the man replied, "Not really, doctor. I'm just a really bad golfer." And then, like I say, I'm pretty sure I've done this one before, but I don't know. It still just gives me a chuckle. An elderly man owned a large farm for several years, and he had a large pond at the far end of his property. It was properly shaped for swimming, so he fixed it up nice with picnic tables, horseshoe courts, and some apples and peach trees. One evening, the old farmer decided to go down to the pond since he hadn't been there for a while. He grabbed a big white bucket to bring back some fruit before starting a long walk to the remote area. As he neared the pond, he heard voices shouting and laughing with glee. As he came closer, he saw it was several young women skinny dipping in his pond. He made the women aware of his presence. They all went to the deep end. One of the women shouted to him, "We're not coming out until you leave." The old man frowned. "I didn't come down here to watch you ladies swim naked or get out of the pond naked." Holding the bucket up, he said, "I'm here to feed the crocodile."
I don't think I've heard that one.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought I've done that. I've definitely read it before. Funny.
good stuff.
Well, I've got a kid in our neighborhood, and it's very, very cute. Jackie and I go on walks around the neighborhood and then up around Wanaka Lake up there. And they have a chalkboard hanging from the bottom of their mailbox. And as you walk by their house, you see the riddle on one side, and then you walk past their mailbox. You got to turn around and you read the answer on the other side.
That's so cool.
And every week we go, every weekend, and it's different. So
Oh, wow.
the kid, maybe more than one, I don't know. I doubt it's the parents or the adults that live there. It's a new riddle. And I just love this one so much. Who was the fattest knight on King Arthur's round table?
Fattest
Fattest
night.
night. Surround a lot.
Hey.
Pretty good guess, Jim. Circumference.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's
like
awesome.
I played the beginning of last week for Bella. She likes hearing her dad jokes and
Yeah.
just smiles. All right, new employees. We got Neil Yarbrough, Francisco Rodriguez, Ontario McKellen, and Manuel De La Torre. That's
Well-
it.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to have you guys.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to the fleet, man. Celebrations, anniversaries. I missed a couple last week. Alberto Gordillo hit 1 year on the 8th. Holly White, 14 years on the 9th. Rob White, 4 years on the 11th. And Jose Barraza, 5 years on the 13th.
Congratulations, everyone.
everybody. Yeah.
Grace Stutz had a birthday on the 12th. Jose Barraza and his birthday and anniversary is the same day every year, the 13th.
That's awesome.
And Randy Alvarez was the 15th. And Georgi Lalashvili was on the 17th. Happy birthday, everybody.
Yeah, happy birthday.
buddy.
Family celebrations, family birthday celebrations. Nairobi Gomez, that's Nikki's daughter, turned 4 yesterday. Landon Romero, Dustin's son, 10 today. Andre's wife, Alexis, has a birthday today. And then Alan Carballo's significant other, Belline, has a birthday today as well.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
family.
Shout outs. I'm going to start off with a letter we received from the Children's Hospital. Susie Yeager wrote it. She's a senior vice president and the chief patient experience and access officer. Dear JFW Corporation, thank you for your recent gift to the Children's Hospital, Colorado. I am so grateful for the many ways you and other donors help to make Children's Colorado a special place for kids and their families. From piggy banks full of coins to carloads of holiday gifts and everything in between, our generous community makes its support for our patients and their families felt. I want to personally thank you for the generous gift of toys, games, books, and clothes. We so appreciate your generosity and your kindness. And here's a quote. There are those who see the need and respond. Beloved children's television host Fred Rogers once observed, I consider those people my heroes. He could be describing you and the myriad of other donors, volunteers, and advocates who support Children's Colorado. Like countless threads in a beautiful fabric, you are a vital part of the strong net of support that not just sustains us, but lifts us higher. On behalf of Children's Colorado leadership, caregivers, and most importantly, the children we are privileged to serve, thank you. Our community is richer because of you. With gratitude, Susie.
Ah, that's great. That's great.
Isn't that a nice letter, Jam? I know I gave it to you to read because it was well done, well thought out, and stuff like that. But I know we talked about it on the one podcast, but just cruise in there and they brought big buckets, big
like containers,
trash can kind of things, not for trash, but had marked on it for the kids and all that kind of stuff. And that was just, I don't know. It just made you feel good. And then we asked, how it worked, which I know I said in the podcast, but to be able to have the parents come and shop for their kids, they're probably or maybe too sick to even make it down or go where the toys are and have them shop. So thank you, everybody. You guys, everybody here at JFW was amazing for all the gifts they brought in and stuff. So thank you.
I thought that was a cool part too, because even if the parents could afford the toys, maybe they're just so distraught and in the hospital, they don't have the time to be able to just go down and pick some gifts out for their kids. I mean, that's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jam. Because if you have somebody that's sick, you're not thinking about going to Walmart or whatever to go shopping or making that point, and yeah, great point, Jam, just to be able to, I assume downstairs they had them all set out and grab something. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Good job. Good teamwork.
Absolutely. It makes you appreciate those things. I hadn't heard of the one gift there, a piggy bank full of coins.
Yeah.
And I that's never crossed my mind. I'm actually kind of wrapping my head around, how do you do that? Do you go buy a new piggy bank and then you put money in it? Is
that's how
right?
you would do it?
I would assume.
I mean, it could be a piggy bank you have at your house, Dave. I mean, we could take that piggy bank right there on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I just have, that's never crossed my mind. I think it's a great gift.
What if those coins, one of them was a gold coin from
whenever, right?
25 pirate treasure worth $1 million, right?
Yep.
What if it was a JFW challenge coin?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I would say if it was one of those, Jam, somebody would be paying at the next steering committee meeting.
I still owe $5. I'm just so cash poor. I just don't ever have cash on me is what I mean by that is.
Right.
JR was about 25.
If there was like a Venmo QR code on there, I could. Bella even asked me the other day, Dad, how come you don't ever have cash? I'm like, I just don't use cash.
Yeah.
It was so funny, Jam. I mean, when we went to see Sam swim this weekend, and when we got on the bus, we take the little share ride back to USA parking. And it's the first time I've ever seen it. The driver had a QR code on the front where you walked on and loaded, and then it was on both sides of the back window of the bus. So you could just scan his QR code and give him a tip, Venmo him a tip.
Venmo him.
Nice.
That's how you get on and off the trams and stuff in Europe. You just take your phone and just scan the QR code and it bills you essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you get into Costco now. They won't let you in without.
Isn't that crazy,
Yeah.
Jim? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess don't hold up the line, I guess is the point of that.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nuts in there.
I somehow they're stopping the back end bottleneck of checking out,
Right.
that you slipped through the front end and started shopping without being a member is my guess, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. I want to give a shout out to Ann and Joanne for all their hard work trying to find different payroll solutions. I know it's probably a pretty frustrating process for them, and we ended up sticking around with Paycom. But the hard work didn't go unnoticed, that's for sure.
Right.
No, I think we've all tried that. Maybe this year we can look a little bit for it, but it's so frustrating that we can't find one system that can just do it all. It's just so I guess each piece of it is so complicated. Whether you're a payroll company and then whether you're a general ledger kind of company where you're just doing, debits and credits, and then we tried so hard with QuickBooks, and man, QuickBooks they've just simplified it really for the small business, and that seems to be their core group of people that they're looking for. And then yet you get other robust systems like Paycom, and they're so robust, they're over our heads almost.
Yeah.
And too complicated.
Yeah, too complicated, too robust. And, I know everybody gets a little frustrated. JFW uses all these apps and the different stuff. And I know Toro's not a true app, but you do your tickets in Toro, you sign in Paycom, and, we're about to talk about it here, but, we try to do things better and different. And if you're not trying the new stuff that's out there, you're basically behind, and it's like updating your phone. What's the latest, greatest phones out there? So yeah, thank you, Ann and Joanne, and for all your hard work. And Colleen, we brought in a person, we hired a person that was, going to help us, thought she could pull it off. And man, did she get frustrated talking to QuickBooks. And I mean, listen to the conversations. You're like, you don't do that.
Right.
I mean, it's like bookkeeping 101, and I wouldn't even attempt.
Right. Huh. I want to give a shout out for Scooby for cleaning up that pro spill the other day. Did he end up there by himself? I think he ended up.
He did. I mean, I'm pretty sure Andrick was up there.
Oh, giving him a little bit of help. Shout out to Andrick as well.
Well, I mean, I know if Andrick was up there, he was helping.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if Andrick was up there, thank you, Andrick, because I know you helped.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
100%.
Yeah, I think he was up there.
Yeah, I felt bad because I was like, oh, let me know when you head up. Got the text on my way. I'm like, yep, I'm going to aviation.
Yeah, because Scooby had to load the grain into Andrick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so there was a truck there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Andrick definitely helped. Yeah. Yeah, there's part of an advancement in technology because Linda, not to blame Linda at all because she already felt bad, but she thought somebody was at a different, actually, she just mixed up the two phone numbers.
Right.
So Andrick called and said he was there.
Jesse?
Yeah, it was
Jesse.
that-
Oh, it was Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and Andrick hadn't got there. Anyway, Jesse called and they opened the
Jesse was at Oscar Blues,
Yeah.
and we called pros to open up.
And said, we're here.
yeah. And they opened up.
Yep.
Dumped her right on the ground.
I don't know if that technology is that good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You think there'd at least be a video camera?
Yeah.
Right.
A
Something.
camera. Like,
Check the camera.
Yeah,
yeah, you're really not there.
Yeah. Verify. Well, I don't see anybody. I'm not going to push that button.
Exactly.
Nope. I'm going to push that button. You called.
But I went right back to bed.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A shout out for Edward for bringing in donuts for the office yesterday. Not only the office, but the shop and whoever was around, they got
Yeah.
a donut.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
probably
you,
Edward.
Edward. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't dining. I would have had some more than the amount that I had.
You only had the ones ending in Y, right? Blueberry, strawberry.
Yes, those two. Exactly. Tony Martinez wants to give a shout out. Says, good morning, Jam. Want to give a shout out to the following drivers: Jimmy V, Ghost, Jose, Jesse, and John Jordan. These guys have been running Utah with me for about 3 months now and have been solid with communication, chaining up and down, and all the other good bullshit. Great team to run with. Keep the rubber down, shiny side up. Bam, bam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Tony. I know I've ran across, and I don't know whose originally is. Maybe you know, Jam, but it was Jimmy V on TikTok. And he put music to the snow and chaining up and the JFW truck sitting there, and it was really well done. So Jimmy, if you were the initiator of that, great job.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you. That
pretty cool.
not
Nice.
thank you, but it was cool. He didn't do it for us. It was just a cool TikTok little post. So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. Stuff.
CC wants to give a shout out. Says, good morning. Hope this makes this before the podcast. I would like to thank John Jordan, Zach, Todd, and Ray for all their help on my first Utah run. There we go.
Yeah, Cece knew that's the first time she went. She got it done. It was awesome. Anybody's welcome to run it. We're gonna teach you and school you and stuff about the ELD and the other stuff. But yeah, if you want to, in that case, CC just slip seated, but we have trucks. You can take it. We can get it done. You can run it. I know we got 1,000 tons to go to Greeley, and they added 50 more tons the end of this week or something.
Yeah, I think we
Dave?
knocked out Greeley already, Jim. And
Did we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're stockpiling, and I'm thinking there's another order that came in on top of the stockpiling.
Yeah, so we got to work. That's what this was for, is to give everybody some hours and run it, and we can put extra trucks on it. You know,
think about it too. Cece's a super dump driver doing local asphalt jobs, you know, like on Colfax or on Federal or whatever. She stretched her legs and said she had the best time, just the windshield time running through the desert out there. And she really, really enjoyed it.
I mean, if you like to drive, I know the guys have fought, just like Tony just said about the chaining up and the video that Jimmy made. You know, I seen them chained. I seen the snow. It was cold. The road was shitty, but man, they knocked that out. And then the rest of the run was just fine.
Right.
You know, and I don't know how many days we've had where they're just running it. There's no chaining. There's no weather. There's no nothing, you know, and it's a neat run to go, like you said, stretch your legs.
This might sound weird, you guys, but you get a really good feeling of accomplishment when you do that. You get your truck chained up. You drive through some really nasty weather.
Oh, yeah, Dave.
You see other trucks skidded into the ditch and cars in the ditch. And I mean, when I was running fuel over Loveland Pass, you felt really good when you got on the other side of that pass. You're like, all right, in my back pocket, I'm done. Let's take these chains off and roll, you know, and I know it's uncomfortable if you're cold or whatever, but it is a feeling of accomplishment.
It's what, I don't know what even the percentage was, but most people can't do, Dave. Most drivers won't even do it.
Right.
You know, I can't, or I won't, or, you know, I'm too old, or I'm too cold, or, you know, there's an excuse, and these guys are getting it done, Dave.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, still jumping out there.
Right.
Yeah.
The old saying, all in a day's work.
All in a day's work.
Yeah.
Boom. Yep.
I think you have to be willing to take on a new adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think I think a lot of people, they almost kind of pigeonhole themselves because they're like, oh, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
It's the attitude up front.
Right.
You know, it's
and they've pigeonholed themselves, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess you can't. If you say you can't do that, you probably can't do that. If you say you can do that, you can probably do that.
Yep.
You know, and the thing is to step out and just go do it. There's the ones getting it done. So it's pretty cool. It's been really neat to watch.
Yep. Yeah. And it goes back to so many sayings and so much what we talk about and all that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, like Michael Jordan, you know, if he never took a shot, he would have never made one. Yeah. And then he tells you, you know, you know how many I missed to make the shots I did make, but he stepped out there and made the shot.
He did.
Go make your shot. Go do it. I mean, it's that simple.
Got to take that shot to make it.
Yeah. Everything we talk about. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing is our top earners are flexible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
If they were just no, they wouldn't make the money they made. So
yep.
Keep in mind too, we love the local work, you know, but there's not a whole lot of that right now, and we got out of town work. Yeah. So
yeah, and you know, we've tried to, you know, incorporate that jam with the, you know, we don't have sleepers, so at least you get hopefully it's a pretty nice room. You know, you got a shower, you spend the night, you get going. It's not
like an over the road job.
Yeah, it's not, you're not stuck in that sleeper. And what a great filler for the winter here, you know, compared to what we've had in the last few winters.
I mean, listen, I love the fact we don't have a sleeper because we're not pulling it the other 365 days a year, losing that 1,000 pounds.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Of capacity we're hauling. And I tell you what, if I had a hotel room I could stay in versus a sleeper, I'm hoteling up every single time, right? Mm-hmm. I've got my own bed. I've got my own bathroom. I've got my own shower.
Yep.
You know, even if I'm sharing it with someone, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've still got my own bed. I've still got my own bathroom. I'm just asking, are you going or am I going? Someone's going if they need to go. You know what I mean?
Number one's only.
Yeah, it's no different than
Bring
home,
matches,
right? So yeah. I mean, I love the fact I can get up, take a shower, and go to work. Yep. That's just a win-win.
Sleep better.
Yeah.
Although I used to sleep pretty well with the reefer running, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna sneak one more shout out in before James Coger's. Shout outs, and this is from Jimmy V. Shout out to the drivers going to Utah. I've been going out there for about 4 weeks now, and just to hear the chain of communication with drivers going to and from Utah, giving heads up on weather and road conditions. Shout out to Ghost and John Jordan, keeping us posted on them roads up there. Also to Potter for always answering my calls when I have questions and need help. Shout out to Jose and Tony helping me and each other chaining up on that morning storm we went through on Saturday. Took us a while to get back, but we got it done. Also, shout out to Tony for the Friday morning incident on I-70 by the Utah border. I'm sure you guys will talk about it on the podcast. I truly believe Tony's actions saved the day from a really bad tragedy and maybe even saved a life. Way to go, Tony. So what they're talking about is Tony was headed to Utah, past Fruita before the Utah border, and he started creeping up on a FedEx truck, and the back trailer brakes were on fire. So he had a trailer fire. Turns out the guy was pulling triples. He had no idea that there was a fire behind him. Tony pretty much, corralled him off to the side of the road, and they got that trailer disconnected, and it burnt down to the ground.
Wow.
Yep.
Did it really, Jam?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got pictures of the trailer on fire, disconnected.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Tony sent some pictures after they separated and pulled away. That trailer was just burning down.
And he was coming eastbound, correct?
No, they were going
Westbound.
Oh, they were going westbound.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Because I had some stuff I'd bought from California that was being FedExed in.
Was it hazmat? Was it hazmat? Because this guy had hazmat on to make it even better.
Well,
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, a 6-pack of spray paint cans makes that a hazmat.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's hazmat. So here's that back trailer. You could kind of see.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that. Jim
Yeah.
didn't know it burnt the rest of the way.
Yeah, when
Yeah, I
I
didn't
say
know
down
that.
on the ground, I mean,
Unless somebody shows up, that's where it's headed.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much. Well, here's another photo. I mean, that looks like it's getting burned down. On the ground.
Right?
That's a little
Right?
smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that the metal was just ashes.
Oh, it's funny how that fire melts all that stuff, isn't it? Though, when you do see truck fires and
Yeah.
that fiberglass and what temperature it must burn at, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, there's not much left. And if they were knowing that road, who knows? Fire department might have been 30 minutes in getting there.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
That truck,
Dave.
your
Yeah,
trailer probably
yeah.
was all done by the time somebody showed up.
exactly.
I wonder how. Just curious how FedEx looks at that. Is that I know Tony helped the driver disconnect from it, but would they have wanted you to stay connected because instead of unhooking from the trailer and letting other things burn, or what's their? Wonder what their thing is on that. How they
Pretty sure
how
they
they look at
want
it.
you to unhook
Right?
and get if it's just a single trailer, get the power unit away. But in this
in that
it
case,
was-
get the other 2 trailers.
triples,
Dave,
yeah.
Yeah, especially
So
if it's
he-
hazmat on the other ones, right?
yeah,
You guys, I
he
mean,
saved
yeah.
a lot of merchandise there.
yeah. Because I understand. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a lot of trash trucks that catch on fire because of what they've loaded and different stuff like that.
Batteries are the number 1 fire starter on
Yep,
trash trucks.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they're supposed to dump the load
Uh-huh.
instead of letting the truck burn.
Yeah.
Or fuel or tires and all that.
I saw that one day. I was headed to the pits, and he dumped his whole load right at 74th on I-76. And I was lucky I got around it, but I think he shut the highway down.
Gives all new meaning to a burning pile of shit.
Yep, and it was burning too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh.
One more shout out. I want to give a shout out to James Koger. He is not an employee here, but this guy is engaged. He writes in once in a while. He sent me an Instagram post, and it was a video of a end dump getting stuck in between 2 piles dumping.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Not one of ours.
Not one of
Oh,
ours.
thank goodness.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there was a rock tub, and it's all the way up, and the load's not out, and he cannot go forward anymore. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then he wished us a happy podcast day. So here's a guy. I mean, he knows today's podcast day, and we just appreciate you reaching out, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy podcast day back to you, James. Yeah.
You guys have any shout outs?
You want
I have one. I was talking with Big Country yesterday. He stopped in the office and I was chatting him up, and I just said, geez, man, it looks like you've definitely lost more weight. He's on this weight loss journey that he started back in November, and he's down 70 pounds so far since November. So
That's awesome.
shout out Big Country. I love your success story and keep up the good work, There's truly no reason he can't get to $180 if he wants.
Yeah. That's just,
right.
I mean, it's really just got to be good.
I mean,
He's pretty tall. I'd shoot for maybe 205.
Well, I'm just saying we all have the same skeletal frame.
Yeah.
Some are bigger than others.
Right.
You know,
Not 100 extra pounds worth.
I don't know.
Yeah. Congratulations, Big Country. That's I'm always talking about a weight loss journey or doing some kind of stuff, but to take that kind of weight off, that's just got to be good for your body, your knees, your blood pressure, your heart, all of that stuff.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he does, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
That's always just my battle is how good you feel, how good you get to feeling, and yet you still go back and can creep those pounds back on because that, the gratification of the sugar or the taste or whatever, and to have the mindset that you just don't need the shit is
you just made it sound so good, though.
Right, Jam? I mean, I can't tell you that those donuts weren't good yesterday. I had to.
But what a gift to himself. Like, think about it. That is like the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
Like, making yourself healthier is the best thing.
Yeah.
One of the best things.
You're truly paying homage to yourself.
Yes.
That's you're celebrating yourself. And I guess, Dave told me about Big Country and I had it on my notes to give him a shout out, and Dave's already got it down there, but that's the reason we want to give him a shout out. That's spectacular.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's caring about himself. And if you're taking care of yourself, you can take care of others.
Yeah. He's got a pretty good inside little hookup that I'm not going to dive into, but I love how he's going about it and using some friends here at work and getting it done. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool. So,
but that's one of those ways he found a way.
Yeah.
He's just
off
not
the island. Huh?
I'm fat. I'm fat. You're not just sitting there. I don't, but you don't walk. You don't do anything. You're not helping yourself. And he found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Any other shout outs, man?
I have one today.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mention that, huh?
Imagine Dave.
So my oldest granddaughter is a cheerleader for Douglas County High School, and she broke her hand doing a tumbling run about 2 months ago, right? Had to have a couple of pins and screws and all kinds of things in her hand, right?
Wow.
Well, she went through all that and came back, and last weekend she was just fresh back to working out and being on the team. And down there in Castle Rock, Douglas County High School won first place in state.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, Lexi. I'm really, really proud of you.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Definitely shout out worthy.
Yep. Definitely a young person overcoming something.
Yep.
Because that,
Yep.
breaking your hand could have just set you back. You can just sit there and woe me.
Right.
So funny, at Christmas time, we're like, Lexi, how's your hand? How's your hand? Let me see it. And she's like, it's fine. She's just like, it's fine.
Dave, I'm proud of you. Your kids are raising their kids to be lions.
Yep.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
it's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Outstanding.
All right, let's get into the discussion. So we already went over the Spotify final stats, but we got some good Samsara stats, and this is all directly related to safety and mileage and what we did as a fleet.
What is Samsara again?
Samsara is our proactive coaching and camera system.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Everybody has it.
Everybody does have it, don't they?
Every truck that we have on the road has it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And doesn't every driver at orientation get a login for that?
I don't know. I got done early that day.
I think
I got that early today. Maybe your group doesn't have that.
They do. Yeah. Everybody
JR goes over
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Jim? Yeah.
Yeah. You
Part
get
of the PowerPoint.
Or you did when you filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't give him a login. So we weren't giving Samsara logins in orientation. We go over Samsara, but now things are changing because of the settings in Samsara. Everybody will have a QR code. So Samsara does identify them as a driver. So that would be your login. So
Yeah.
that is a change coming up. Yep. In 2024, JFW fleet traveled over 8,498,568 miles. That's almost 8.5 million miles, which is 341 times around the globe.
How many times?
341.
Wow.
Yep. That is basically 250,000 hours is how many hours we drove. 701 miles was the longest trip traveled by one truck.
That's not good, Jim.
What did I say yesterday, Jim?
It's about
Nobody would pay attention to that.
That was too far.
yeah, that's 101 miles too far. Oh man.
Just kidding, DOT. Just trying to see if you're paying attention.
Let's hope it was all in Utah at 80 miles an hour and we did it under hours.
There you go. If it's possible, it's true.
Yeah.
That's how I was taught to run a logbook. It's possible, it's true.
Yep.
Too funny.
72,021 miles was the average distance traveled per asset. And just speaking with Brother Dave yesterday, that number could be a little skewed because we have trucks that do 30 miles in a day and then trucks that theoretically could do 700 miles in a day. But the average was 72,000 in a year. So, and then we had 269,102 total trips traveled by the fleet. And with great safety comes great videos. There was 15,937 videos uploaded from Samsara with over 38,776 minutes of footage.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And those 15,000 videos are what, Jim?
They could be videos uploaded, so I'm not really sure, honestly, when I think about it.
Well, I think it's number one, alerts, safety alerts that we check out. But a lot of the drivers say, hey, man, I just had this car do a rollover right in front of me. And then
it could be.
We download the video. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not an alert, Dave.
I know.
Right.
So there's many different
Uploads,
reasons,
so yeah.
I guess.
Anything. Well, uploads isn't downloads. We're downloading videos.
Right.
We're uploading.
Uploads would be an
Oh.
alert to the
Yeah.
best of my knowledge.
Gotcha.
So that's what we were kind of talking about yesterday. We briefly touched on it. That should be, and I'm making it up. You got in and you're traveling, you don't have your seatbelt on, or
Right.
you're following too close, or you're speeding excessively, or
Distracted.
you had a distracted driving, or you had a hard stop.
Rolling
or-
stop sign.
Look
Exactly.
Look drowsy.
Yep.
and-
Yeah. I mean, all of those good things that Samsara is alerting us on, that we can contact the driver and go, hey, are you okay?
Right.
So,
but that being said, with this next stat, this explains a little bit. So out of all those events, right, out of all those videos, there was 3,178 events reviewed. Okay. So out of the almost 16,000 videos, 3,178 were reviewed and 1,220 were coached. So out of all that stuff that was uploaded, not everything's an actual event.
mhm.
And then not everything needed to be coached.
Sure.
Sometimes we look and it's like, oh, the camera's not calibrated, or that wasn't, an issue, or stuff like that. So,
Right. But that tells you our safety team has looked at and reviewed over 3,000 alerts.
yes.
Right. And dismissed how many of them, Jim?
Well, 1,220 was coached.
Coached. So the balance.
Almost half.
Yeah. Yeah. The balance was probably dismissed, because we do get a lot of, bogus. I don't want to say bogus. but
False alerts.
Yeah, false alerts, right? We'll get an alert that says you weren't wearing your seatbelt. Well, you were wearing your seatbelt, but you have it so slack, right, that it's not tight, it's not across your chest, it's lower than that.
Yeah.
So it's warning us that you don't have your seatbelt
Or
on.
you got a red hoodie on with a red seatbelt, or
Right. Yeah.
or you're in the pit. A lot
Yeah,
of times.
without your seatbelt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
JR
which is-
said a lot in the pit. And then also hopefully the QR code, because I know you guys dismiss a lot for the wrong person in the wrong truck.
Yes.
So
So can we lower that?
We can.
The 15,000 uploads?
So but let me tell you this next stat. There were 12,064 safety events detected.
Ah, that's the one I'm looking for.
Yes. Yep.
12,000 safety events.
Yep.
Wow.
You guys want to guess a fleet's overall safety score? You can't guess.
I have to
Dave.
take myself out because I know it.
oh, you asked?
He
I
showed me
showed
the
him.
stuff yesterday.
Oh.
And he would have
Man.
printed it for all of us, but it's like all on.
Black. It's
Yeah,
all,
it's like a whole page of black.
Gosh, Jam, if we're looking back and all the discussions we've had in the last few weeks, the fleet, right? The average of the fleet,
Safety
safety.
of the fleet.
safety score of the fleet.
I think coaching and all that kind of stuff we've been doing and as involved we are, I mean, if I can't pick a number, but I think we're above 90.
Okay. What do you think?
I think I've heard JR mention we have a fleet average of 92.
Son of a.
Tag, man.
92.
Yeah. So
Super
above
Dave
90.
his
Yeah.
historic data.
Yep. So, yeah, of course, Brother Dave, he sees us yesterday. He's like, all right, well, what's our goal?
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I don't know, 10,000. He's like, that's too high. I was like, half. He's like, let's get half. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when you really think about that, Jam, 12,000 safety events. And here's what I'm relating it to, right? We went around the Earth 341 times.
That's what I was just going to bring up.
I'm
Dave.
backing up. How many times do you think United Airlines has went around the Earth?
342.
I bet more than
I'm going with
JFW.
3,042. And I bet when their safety department looks at their stats and they had the same stats and they're like, we had 12,000 safety alerts. There has to be this panic go off in their heads. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm just seeing 12,000 safety alerts. Man, it just doesn't feel good.
United Airlines uses Samsara?
I'm looking at it as
So, but hold on a second, right? So,
Back up the truck.
but hold on a second. You're
Let's
looking
talk
at
about
what
this.
are you? What's your perspective?
I'm looking at it different, and I get. Can we be better? Absolutely. We're gonna always try to be better, right? I think we can do that. But you're telling me 12,000 videos, right?
Events
Events
detected.
in 8 million miles.
8.5 million.
I mean, divide
doing
that video into 8 million miles
I'm doing it.
traveled. You know, I don't think that's a whole lot.
Well,
And a safety score of 92, Jam.
and the safety score. And a lot of the events are auto dismissed. It's something we got to think about. So here's how we reduce it to the ridiculous. 12,064 safety events. Out of the 12,000, 3,178 were reviewed. So what happened to the other 9,000,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Were they auto dismissed? And out of the 3,178 reviewed, we decided 1,220 needed to be coached.
Yeah, half of them were coachable.
Yeah. So that's what is 1,220, 10% of 12,000? Am I doing the math right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty close, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, so it's 10%. Yeah.
if you do the math, 8.5 million divided by 12,000 is every 708 miles we're having an event.
Okay.
As a fleet, for one truck, that's outstanding, right? I mean, you could almost say that's one every day and a
Day
quarter.
and a half. Yeah.
Day and a half, right? As a fleet, we'll go 700 miles the first round,
As a fleet, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So
I got
Well,
check. I had to check your math.
But
Dave.
honestly, it goes back to what you say a lot, Jim, that we go through that gate 100 times in a day and we hit it once. It's the same kind of statistic, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dave. Yep.
what'd you come up with, Jim? What's your math?
Yeah. Yeah. The stat you said matches the
0.33, right?
I just took the 780 miles, Dave.
Oh,
So just
Gotcha.
right quickly or
Yeah.
whatever you said. Yeah. Back the other way.
yeah.
time.
The thing is, divide that 12,000 by 365 days. Actually, divide it by what's working days? 22 days a month. How many is that a year? 260? Is that what that comes up to?
Here's what I think we need to do, though. Divide the 8.5 million by 1,220, because that's how many events were coached. That's how many events we thought we needed to coach a driver.
Yeah. That lowers it, Jam. Yeah.
Yeah, by 10%.
Sure. Sure. So that would be roughly, if you're doing it that way, 78 miles. I mean, no, it would up it.
7,800 miles.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if, I guess I'd have to try and do the math a different way, but if there's 260, on average, 264 working days a year, and we had 12,000 events, don't you divide 264 by 12,000? Right?
To get a percentage?
Well, you divide 12,000
To
by
get how many you
Just to get how many events. And
per day.
per day, I'm showing 0.02. We're having an event. So it's what would 0.02 be of a day, of a 24-hour day?
100s.
Every 2 hours, we're having an event.
I guess
But-
what I'm asking is, why are we looking at that 12,000 number?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because a lot of those were dismissed. Some of them were bogus. Some of them were auto-dismissed, but we coached 1,220.
Yeah,
of them.
out of all of those, we only found 1,200 that were coachable.
Right.
So
we need-
it was a real violation. I mean, otherwise we're not coaching the other 12,000, the other 1,100
Yeah,
videos. That's what we need to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. Because the number you're using, I think if you use the 1,220, which is the ones that we coached and we deemed
The worst.
unsafe. Yeah.
Because we coach every event we think's unsafe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Or if it's just true,
we're religious about that.
yeah, you get an alert, you're following too close. We look, oh, that driver only has, 5 seconds following distance. We dismiss that, It's not going to get coached. Oh, he's got 1.5 seconds. We're going to coach that. So that 12,000 number, I don't feel is a real,
Well, how does that work? Because it says here we reviewed 3,000.
right. And out of the 3,000, 1,220 were,
I mean, yeah, those numbers. I mean, there's 12,000. We 3,000 of them were reviewed, and we only found 1,200 of them that we needed to coach on.
Right.
I mean, yeah, where is that? What are the other, like you asked, Jam, the 9,000 videos?
Yeah, why were only 3,000 of the 12 reviewed?
right. I think some are auto-dismissed a lot.
Interesting.
We'll dig a little more into that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stat here. We have a tie for the safest driver in 2024.
Ooh.
Does anybody want to take a guess at that? What was that?
So
It's supposed to be a drum roll. It was just pretty
Oh.
bad.
it sounds
Sound like a sick cat purring, huh?
Yeah, we need to call the vet.
Better edit that.
I saw a good dad joke earlier. It said, I saw a bumper sticker. It says, I'm a veterinarian, so I could drive like an animal. So the guy's like, there must be a lot of proctologists out there. So anyway, Potter and Jesse Rodabaugh tied for first place as safest drivers in 2024.
Oh, congratulations, you
Yep.
guys. Yeah, that's awesome.
Both had a score of 100.
Both had a score of 100.
Yep.
Perfect.
Congratulations,
Yep.
you guys.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
there's an example of two different
Yes.
people, or not people, hauling.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
rock tub,
Yeah.
one long haul,
Yeah. Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. Possible in either one.
Yep.
Doesn't
Good
matter.
point.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Good
Doesn't matter
point.
the job or the truck or anything like that, or the dispatch or anything. It's how you drive.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good
Very
stuff.
good point.
All on your shoulders.
Love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any other comments on the Samsara stats?
I don't think so. Jam. Yeah.
No, it's going to be interesting to dive in. I know we're planning on starting to use that more this year. So
Yep.
it'll become a big part of our program.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of our program, with us looking to leave Paycom, we started looking at other platforms for communication. We feel one of the missing links in our program is good communication with our drivers and employees, not just the drivers. This includes the wash bay, the shop, admin, anybody that works here. We need to communicate better. Valentino Belli, he had suggested Slack a while back, and this program is very similar. It's called Connect Team. And we do feel that this is going to make everybody more engaged. If we make an announcement, you're able to comment on the announcement. You could group chat, people, if you're going to Redmond, you could start a group chat with the guys you're going the night before, not while you're driving, right? But like the night before, like, hey guys, let's roll out at this time and,
Yeah.
plan
That way
the
you can
trip.
chat on the phone all the way out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Not.
Yeah. It's got some really good course features where we could put courses up and videos, and yeah, it's going to be really cool. There's just a lot of great things about this app, and we plan on rolling it out here pretty quick. I'm working on getting everybody uploaded into the system. One of the things that I'm going through now is getting everything segmented by department and team,
Mm-hmm.
because there's smart groups, like, from an admin point of view, we could be like, oh, we need to talk to all the bulkers, and there'll be a smart group called the bulkers, or,
Yep.
we need to just contact the wash bay and tell them it's too cold tonight. There'll be a smart group called wash bay. just stuff like that. So it's got really,
No washing Monday night, everybody. It's going to be 10 below.
there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping to have this thing up by Monday night too. So you'll be able to tell them that,
Nice.
Yeah, it's just going to be really cool. It's got some great things. It is another app. I know, some people embrace that and other people don't. I was telling Valentino yesterday, hey, we didn't go with Slack. We went with Connect Team. His response, I can't wait to start using it. That's the attitude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it'll just be nice. There'll be, more frequent announcements probably just because Paycom's so hard to make announcements.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of, the whole platform is more like a social media platform.
That's what I was going to mention.
Yeah, it's just easy to use and it's fun and, we'll all be able to communicate better.
I mean, it's a Connect Team is something, we purchased and everything like that, but it's truly going to be like JFW's own Facebook.
It's like our own app.
Yeah. It's
like
really set up that way.
Yep.
And, you can give like these shout outs, Jimmy or Tony could have got on that and give a shout out to all those guys and the whole company see that.
Yep.
Or just that group of guys see that.
Yep.
Post videos. I know you can still do, smiley faces and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I opened it up. Jam was testing it. I opened it up for JR's birthday. It announced the birthday on his birthday with a bunch of confetti.
Yeah.
It was just nice to see
cool.
that stuff and easy to do and be more involved.
Another thing I'm excited about is Saturday coverages.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear it on the radio all the time. All right, I'll contact Jam. And usually I'll make these guys make a group text. Nobody has each other's phone number. A lot of people don't, especially the newer people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on this app, your phone numbers are going to be hidden, but you could group text me and that other person just through the app.
Yep.
Like if you know his name
You can
or her name,
Yep.
you'll be able to contact us in a group, and it's just going to streamline a lot of things.
Yeah, and I did notice too for everybody going through the tutorials on it that, Jam's saying that, it sounds like you get somebody's phone number, but it does stay hidden. But once you leave JFW, we delete that and all that information is gone.
Right.
You won't retain that in the app.
Right.
So it does privatize it for just JFW.
Yeah,
you have to be part of the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good. So I'm excited about it too, Jam, to, mess with it.
It does definitely feel, you guys mentioned it has a social media feel, and it definitely does.
Yep.
So.
Be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Super Dave, this next one was yours. You mentioned it yesterday. You want to take it about getting on the scale?
Well, it's not the first time we've talked about it, and it probably won't be the last. We've had several alerts recently of people talking on the CB at the same time that they're pulling onto the scale. When I was driving all the time, I didn't usually anyway, have my mic on a zippy cord, you know what I mean, on a gear keeper thing. I like to have it in my hand, and there was a couple of these guys that were holding their mic, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that's not too bad. They're just holding it. But then they get about half of the truck on the scale, and then they raise it up to their mouth and announce themselves while they're driving on the scale. You guys, we just can't do that. We have to just leave the mic alone. Either stop before you pull on the scale and announce yourself at that time and then drive on the scale, or drive all the way on the scale and stop and then announce yourself, who you are, what you've got, and where you're going. I think a lot of people are like, well, what the heck? I'm just pulling on the scale. Well, that's not, it doesn't work that way, because we've hit the scale dozens of times.
Dozens and dozens. Dave.
Many different pits. So it's not that type of scale or the turn you're taking. Some of the scales we've hit, it's a complete straight drive on scale. We just have to pay attention to what we're doing in the moment and just do that one thing.
That's the thing. One thing.
Yeah.
Dave.
You can't multitask. You're asking for trouble.
We're men. We don't multitask. We can't.
Well, I know I can't.
The scale has proven that.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing with both your comments and your whole announcement there. Dave, is we've fallen off, we've drove off the corner, we've hit it, we've done everything. We do it all the time. We're not making things up not to use your CB and to stop before you pull on the scale. Your one job is to pull on the scale and not hit anything.
Yeah.
And we've proven we can't do it. And it's not my story of hitting the fence post once. We hit them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we hit that gate dozens of times. It just happens to be mounted right on the side of the scale.
Mm-hmm. And the repairs of these things are not easy or cheap.
Oh, yeah. It's just...
you personally have had to straighten a railing on the Saturday that you worked
Right.
and then remount it. I mean, we've hit the scale at Morton, at Fry, at Young's Ranch, at Fairplay, and they're all different scales, with different entrance, turns or straightaways and whatnot. So it is not a one-time thing. It's a many-time thing, and we've got to get better at it. That is an area we need improvement as a fleet.
Absolutely.
My question is, were you trained like that?
And that's a big no. I know these guys are always trained to not talk on the CB. Line yourself up, stand up in your seat if you have to, look out the window you have to, get yourself lined up straight, and then pull on the scale.
Yeah.
It's just imperative. I mean, it just makes no sense. You've changed how we've taught you to do it.
Mm.
And what do we know is the best way?
JFW way.
Right. I mean, it works.
The one thing I don't know if I heard you mention, Soup, and if you did, I apologize, but it could be repeated anyway.
Yeah.
Stop before you get on the
stop.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it used to drive me nuts at Morton. That scale lady no longer works there. I would pull up and stop and then announce myself because I was stopped and I wasn't doing anything. Then I'd drive on the scale and I'd be on there waiting, and then she'd yell, "Who's on my scale?" It would drive me nuts, but that's okay. Just don't, even if you're pulling on, don't answer that scale lady until you've stopped.
I was just waiting for you to finish, Dave. I was trying to I was so excited to jump in there and go, don't answer him until you stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can wait the 12 seconds it takes you
it's-
to pull on that scale.
Can't be anything
Yeah.
but waiting.
And I can't emphasize, don't pull on that scale in third gear, fourth gear at 5-6 miles an hour. You need to come to a stop. You need to shift it to first gear and pull on in first gear.
Why do we want to go slow?
Because if you do strike something, at least hopefully you'll hear it, you'll stop, you'll get out, you'll assess what's going on and decide whether you need to pull forward or back up or call someone so you don't do more damage. And it just eliminates the amount of damage.
Yes.
We've had trucks pull on there at 6 miles an hour, and man, when they hook something,
It's over.
they hook
Too late.
that step and they pull it back into the def and they hit the tank. And I mean, it goes from $1,000 to, I mean, we've lost a DPF box. We've lost a fuel tank. We've lost, I don't know how much shit by just a high speed strike. And you weren't trained like that. You weren't taught like that.
Is it, what do you think? $8,000 once you hit into the DPF?
Oh, at
And
least.
the fuel tank.
Yeah.
The fuel tank alone is what, $3,500.
I mean, and we're running fuel tanks that are jacked up. We don't,
Right.
if they're not leaking, we can't
Yeah.
really, that's not an easy fix. We at least get to fixing the boxes, but the rest, it just looks like a damaged truck.
Yeah.
Somebody,
It looks like a POS going down the road.
yeah, exactly.
And it could be a brand new truck.
Yeah. Yeah. And that truck's easily moving 80,000 pounds around. And when it, like you guys are saying, in that gear and at that speed, the steel, the posts, all of that mean nothing to that truck.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep doing damage.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, I don't want to get off the subject as important as the scale is, but Jam, you posted that or sent it to us of the guy having the seizure on the truck. And that guy's barely moving and he's having a complete seizure, has an inward facing camera, and it drives. And I don't know. It looks like he's going 1 mile an hour, right, Jam?
Right. Over the median.
Yeah. And that truck just over the median, over the fire hydrant, and then finally smacks a tree
And stops.
just to be able to stop it.
Right.
And people it's slow enough, people coming the other way because he's going into onward traffic. they're just stopping.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I got plenty of time,
Wow.
which so fortunate that nobody hit him, right? That people could recognize that. And then I know the video ends with a woman getting up in the cab, looks like she's trying to help.
Yeah.
And then the last I watched is she was waving to people like, this guy needs help,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a little bit of a hero.
Right?
She had a big amygdala.
Yeah.
yeah, she was in
She
there,
was
but
on it.
that's, I guess
Say
that's,
that again?
She had a big amygdala.
but I'm just back to the point of what power those trucks have.
Yeah.
I was talking to Erica and trying to teach her that, at the, going, I think she moved a truck for you, Jam.
Mhm.
And she was discussing with me that she was nervous and the way it jumped forward and all that kind of stuff. And I asked her, did you have it in first? And she's like, oh yeah, Jam told me to do that. She goes, but I didn't expect it to move like that. And I said, well, the other thing you have to realize is the new trucks are so badass. At 900 RPM, you're at 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. You have the full torque of that truck. And it moves 80,000 pounds. What else can it move?
Yeah, I thought she was popping the clutch in there. I was like, is that an 18 speed?
Yeah, she had, I think you explained it to her. She goes, I had no clue to feather the gas or
The
brake. I just
Yeah.
let off the brake. And she goes, it moved.
That's quite an urge, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sure
urge
enough
to
for
move.
next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is to jump to another topic, but the same reason behind it, even though we're talking about pulling on scales, but backing, it's the same thing. Back slowly, because if you do happen to hit a post or a concrete bin, if you hit it and you're only going a half a mile an hour, it's going to do a whole lot less damage
Yeah.
than if you're going,
But that's the
5
same
miles.
thing. That truck's not going to recognize that concrete wall.
oh no.
It's not going to feel it. It's not going to do any of that, Dave.
Yep. Make sure you got your windows down.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Listening.
I mean,
and
at
feeling
some
and-
point, I can't wait. All the new cars for years now, the top end or the higher end ones have what's called bird's eye view,
Yeah.
right? They have a camera in the front and they have 2 cameras on the sides and the camera in the back, and it shows everything around you on the ground.
Yeah. The computer picks it up.
I
and makes
cannot
it visual.
freaking wait for the day they do that on the trucks.
Yep.
I mean, that way it would eliminate our scale strikes, the stuff when we just had one yesterday. We just drove right up and smashed into a concrete block
Mhm.
at, I think, plant 3, brand new truck. Why are we putting ourselves in harm's
yeah.
way?
Right.
Why are we doing that? Why put that truck within a foot of something that could cause damage to it? And you're that close when you have all the room in the world not to.
Right.
That's my thing,
right.
right? It's almost like when you have a really nice car and you go to King Supers and you park way out in the back 40 by yourself.
Right.
There's not another car around for 20 spots. You come out and some dipshits park next to you.
Don't you hate that?
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
It's a Jeep thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sheep thing.
Yeah. Sheep thing you have right. Yeah. But we have to think through every move we make. We talk about this. You have to think through every move you make in those trucks.
I think it's overconfidence. It's that person
Complacency.
saying, why do I have to be careful? I drive 500 miles a day. I don't have a problem with any of it until it happens, right?
Hey, back to the what if, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
what does it lead to?
Yeah. I was talking to a driver candidate yesterday, 27-year-old guy, and he's just moving quicker, and I said, I get it. When I was 26, 27, you do everything quicker.
Move quicker. Yep.
We were coming down 53rd here, and there was 2 people that had crossed the road and another guy that was coming out of Dr. Deb's place, and he was going to cross the road to go over to the truck stop. But I thought, oh my God, this guy's going to walk right out in front of us. And me being 60 something years old, I'm always thinking about that what if, right, Jim? That comes with wisdom and age. And I'm pushing my brake on the passenger side. Like, he's going to jump out. And he didn't. He saw us and stopped and picked it. I mean, he was looking at his phone, but I said to the kid, I'm like, well, that's what you have to anticipate, that guy is going to cross the road, so you need to start slowing down before, like the minute you see him, expecting them to cross the road. And same thing if you're pulling on the scale, expect that, you might hit the side. and you might damage the truck, or that you're too close to that block. So don't pull over that way. I run into that a lot when I'm having people back into 00, 36, 37, 38 spots on a test drive.
Mhm.
They pull up right next to our parking blocks, like really close, like 6 feet away from the parking blocks. And then when they go to turn the steering wheel to the left to get the trailer to go in that direction, they think, oh my gosh, I'm close to the block. And I ask them, I'm like, why didn't you just pull out right into the middle of the yard?
Yeah, no threats.
Yeah, 50 yards of space there. Oh, I didn't think about that, and that's stuff that we have to think about when we're maneuvering at these plants. Plant 2, a perfect example,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
All the time.
just one quick thing. Won't even really talk about it too much. I think this week, beginning of this week, maybe the last week, the truck stop put a gate across the one gate here on 53rd
At
Yeah.
the truck wash.
at the truck wash, and it created a lot of truck traffic in front of our building in the mornings, because the guys are coming down thinking they can turn in the truck wash and can't. So just be extra careful.
Yeah, they're
Just a
turning
quick
into
note.
our yard, Jim.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, the one guy, we watched him go down the road twice yesterday morning, and you could tell he was just frustrated, but you don't know especially if you ran here before, you'd be able to come down the street and turn in the truck wash, and you can't. So just quick note on that.
Yeah, they're redoing the entrance like they did on the entrance of Quebec. I think they're putting up a card reader or something, because I think they're going to charge you.
No,
to
gotcha.
go in
When you
and
come in.
park, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That won't back traffic out into the
Right?
into the street.
Yeah.
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 Should be interesting
not
to
good.
say the least.
Yep.
Well, have we beat up the scale enough?
I hope so.
Literally?
Speaking of beating up.
Exactly. That was my segue word.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't talk about this a lot, but just every couple of years somebody does this. It's weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's no different than me taking a hammer and walking out to their cars or their pickups or something like that, and, beating down the side of their vehicle with a hammer.
Yeah.
It's
So
the same.
what we're talking about is, do not take a hammer to the outside of your trailer or the inside for that fact on an aluminum trailer. And when I say to the outside, the rock trailers or the aluminum trailers, do not take a hammer and hit the outside of that trailer. We just had a driver last week, right?
Yeah.
That no longer works here because he took a hammer to the trailer. He had some material frozen to the inside of it and literally beat the snot out of that trailer. And the thing, that can't be repaired.
You can't.
You
Not
can't
on the aluminum. You can't.
fix
dents.
that. I mean, it literally lowered the value of that trailer $10,000. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I can't emphasize enough. And on the rock trailers, you guys can say, well, it's not leaving a dent. May not be leaving a dent, but that
Chips
trailer's
the paint.
painted. It just takes the paint right off. And in one winter, you have nothing but all these rust spots now developing where the paint used to be. So don't take a hammer to any trailer.
Yep.
Those hammers are meant to hit
Bump your
tires.
tires.
Bump
Yeah.
tires. That's the only use, really.
Right?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jim, it's so unimaginable to me. I guess
then
maybe I could see one time.
One time. That's what I was going to say.
You hit it once and go, holy
shit.
shit.
Yep. I just dented the trailer.
Yeah,
I need to tell somebody about this.
exactly. Not I'm just hammering the shit out of it. It is absolutely mind boggling to me. And that's just, yeah, it's just unacceptable.
Yeah, aluminum is a soft, very light metal. Steel is hard, and you're hitting it with a 2.5 pound steel sledgehammer.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I don't know the understanding. It doesn't reach the inside.
No.
Right.
It doesn't touch the inside. It doesn't go through the liner. It doesn't do any of that. The whole thought process that hitting the outside of the trailer is going to help unload the load. And again, you weren't trained that way. And I don't care if it was in the middle of the summer, and we don't have to hit the trailers. Nobody's out hitting the trailer. I mean, if it was okay to hit the trailer, you just do it in the summer too and knock the stuff out of the nose.
Right?
You just bang on the side of the trailer and the shit fall out of the nose.
Mhm.
It doesn't work that way. You were never showed that. Don't do stuff you weren't shown. It's like Dave said, when we go to sell it, somebody come over and look at it and go, well, oh, somebody just took a hammer and beat the shit out of the trailer. What's that?
Yep.
You know, I mean, I know Cliff that we buy the trailers for when we were buying directly from Vantage, he had some panels show up that were dented. They got stacked or something, had a board under it. And he built the trailers for us. And then he seen the trailers and he's like, you know, what the heck is that? And just as him being the owner of the company and his product, he discounted the trailers for us. He took money off. He said, I can't have my trailer out there looking like that.
Yep.
I can't expect you guys to buy that when it's a piece of shit like that. So, you know, it meant that much to the owner and the builder of the trailer. You know, it means that much to all of us. Yeah,
it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is just embarrassing to see our equipment go down the road like that. I can't explain it. It just puts a pit in my stomach that we actually have someone works here that thought that was okay.
And seriously, it is no different than me taking a hammer
Yep.
and walking down your personal vehicle.
Yep.
I mean, there is no difference in that, you guys.
Yeah, it's sad. Guys, got anything else for the discussion before I get into some Colorado gun politics?
I didn't see it on here, and I want to mention it, and I don't know when we're going to drill on it. But if you're one of the people running the Redmond run, you guys have to check your trucks out. You have to inspect it. I know we're bragging about how you get some windshield time and stuff, but Utah pulled us over, and we had with a truck with 50,000 miles on it, so it's a brand new truck. The air lines to the trailer rubbed on something. I assumed from the picture it was the deck plate. Dave, did you guys ever figure it out? It doesn't matter.
It looked like where the two hoses were tied together.
Oh, they were chafing.
And it looks like they separated them and looked.
Oh,
so I need to dive more into it before, we say they were. I don't think they were dragging the deck plate. I think they were tied together.
Okay, perfect. But no matter what, you guys got to inspect your trucks. You can't, I'm going to just drive for 12 hours and nobody's going to bother me. No, Utah and Colorado, the port, they're going to look for stuff like that, you guys. There's no different rules. And under doing that stuff, you've changed from an in-town driver to an over-the-road driver. You're under more of a spyglass than anything, you know? And especially the stuff we got written up with the airlines, they're simple, shouldn't happen. And the other stuff was not putting your bill of lading in your ELD. And you're assigned that bill of lading in your Toro when you leave. That's your ticket number that's going to be on your ticket, your pickup number. So put it in your ELD, you guys. I know the driver said, I hadn't put it in yet. Well, that's still a violation.
Yeah.
And we can't have that, you guys. We're better than that.
You're sitting there waiting to load, take the opportunity and put it in.
Yep.
That's part of your job.
Yep.
You're getting loaded with the load that you have the number for.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Should we talk about the window tint too?
We should.
Yeah.
Because it's a big, bright, screaming light.
Yeah. I mean, probably the cop
patrol.
pulled you over because your windows weren't tinted.
Most likely.
It just gives them something to stop you for. I don't think he knew your airlines were chafing by driving behind you, beside you, or passing you.
Mm-hmm.
He knew your windows were tinted just looking at you.
Yep.
And the end dumps, I'm sorry, you guys, we have a cowboy attitude. We have a cowboy reputation, not JFW end dumps. The straight stacks, the tip down visors, all the other stuff, running over hours, running over weight. You've seen the commercials, for lawyers. We have that vision. That's what we've tried to break up all these years of what our brethren act like out on the road. We can't act like that. And so realistically, you guys, I know we've accepted the tint, but I would take the tint off. In fact, I don't know. We're on the edge of making it because this is our third ticket for the window tint and it counts.
Yeah. So this driver got assigned a truck. He didn't put the window tint on.
Nope.
And then he goes to Utah and gets a ticket for it. So I feel bad for the driver. And that day he came back into town, he came to me and said, where can I get a razor blade? And I said, talk to Teddy, and I'm sure he's got a handle and everything. And he peeled that right off ASAP. But here's the deal, everybody. Here in Colorado, we have a reputation. JFW is a high-profile trucking company here in our neighborhood in Denver along the Front Range. And we have a darn good reputation. they will wave us by and get the POS behind us. Out in Utah or even in Grand Junction or on the West Slope, we don't have a reputation.
They
We're
don't know
just
us.
like everybody else. We are just as equal as a trucking company from New York or who knows where, because we aren't out there.
No.
Well, now we are. We're out there. We're hauling 40 to 50 loads a week through Utah, and that's a lot of trucks, and they're noticing us.
We're building a reputation, but not a good one at
Correct.
this point, Dave.
And now they're noticing us, and we have to be better now.
Yep. We have to do it like the over the road trucks, and so many of the over the road trucks have the sleepers on it, and that gives your cab a dark look, over our day cabs. And that's, so yeah, I think if I was running that, I would take the tint off, you guys. I know a lot of you've paid for it. We've okayed it if you paid for it, and just to get that ticket or just to get pulled over is just not worth it, you guys. And I've told everybody over and over, you can order the little sunshade that clips in your window and pulls it down for, I think, $13 off of Amazon, rolls back up, and the way you go.
Yep.
It just is, it's better. And I feel sorry, or it's not that I feel sorry.
We all like window
apologize.
tint.
Yeah,
We
Dave.
have private cars.
Yeah.
and it helps keep the interior cooler.
Yeah, Jim and I just watched an undercover cop over here in Commerce City stop a guy. He kind of came out of nowhere. We don't even know if he passed us or he was sitting there or what, but stopped a car that was behind us. And I mean, the cop car was all blacked out.
Yeah. So,
well, that's okay, Dave.
Right.
Didn't you know that?
Right. That's where it's just infuriating.
Yeah,
because those guys have to make decisions in those cars, and their visibility needs to be good.
Yeah.
And if they're saying our visibility is lowered, what's theirs lowered to? That's the dual.
Yeah. Double standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Not good. But yeah, because so far we've done a good job for, I want to say A1 chip seal, sorry, for Envirotech. And they're going to ask us continue to do this. This is something that works for them. And we may haul it into the summer if we get a wet spring,
right?
And build their stockpile. They're going to ask us to continue to haul. So this isn't going away. This easily could lead to a 2 or 3 year contract, you guys. And we have to get through that by doing it right. And if this is something we can continue to do, I would take the tint off. I would look at a different way. Like I said, the little visor pull down or something like that,
I agree.
This trooper even had his tint meter on.
Yeah.
I mean, he whipped out his tint meter and stuck it on the glass and checked. And
yeah. And just so you guys know, so there's no controversy of that. Any tint you add to our trucks will make it illegal, because our windows are already tinted from the factory. So there's no tint made low enough unless you go clear.
They do make
clear.
They do make a clear tint that guards you from skin cancer.
The UV.
Yeah, it's a UV.
SPF.
Yeah. It's like an SPF kind of deal, but it's clear. It doesn't change the tint of your windows.
Yes.
Our trucks are ordered at a factory tint. A legal factory tint. So you add anything to it, it's not right. And don't, you can come and argue. We've went around here with a.
Yeah, I have a tint meter in my desk. I'll pull it out and show it to you because I've done it before.
Doesn't work, you guys.
In the tool room on the toolbox right now. I saw it yesterday, sitting right on top.
The tint meter?
Huh?
That's kind of scary.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It says it's got a white paint marker on it. This is JFW tint meter, and I'm like, what's that doing out here?
Somebody else must have
I
it.
guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, come see me. I had one in my desk.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You don't need you
can.
you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't pass.
It's just always mind-boggling, right, Jim? You take and you roll up the window and you look through the window and just above it where it's clear and tint, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not a tinted glass. And then you put that meter up there and you're like, oh my God, that's
tinted glass.
That is tinted glass.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So the other day, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim, what about being assaulted?
assaulted. So the other day, just talking to Brother Dave about some new gun laws they're trying to pass. He's like, you need to talk about that on the podcast. So I'm going to get on my gun soapbox here for a minute. But Colorado state senators, specifically the Democratic ones, are trying to pass a new assault weapons ban called SB 25-003. And, you know, there's some sneaky hidden language in here and stuff like that. But here's what the bill is about. And I'll post this on the show notes. There's a little button where you could email the senators. It'll take you right to their email address. You could just write, I oppose this. You know, just let them know that you're against it. And here's some things to know about the bill. What the bill bans, SB 25-003 is an extreme ban that targets any semi-automatic rifle or shotgun that can accept a detachable magazine, as well as a semi-automatic pistol that operates with a gas reloading system and can accept a detachable magazine. Due to the bill's contradictory language, specifically around pistols, it could ban far more than gas-operated platforms. So what's a gas-operated pistol? Right away you think of an AR pistol or an AK pistol because they have a gas block and a piston and stuff like that. But the language is kind of vague, right? So it could end up excluding more. They're going after these pistols, but it's just very vague, and it could include a lot more things that could be decided later.
I mean, it sounds like they could easily get rid of like a 9mm. That's a detachable cartridge or magazine.
Yes,
Yeah.
that runs off the recoil spring, runs off the gas of the cartridge.
Right.
There is an exclusion in there for that,
Okay.
but the wording,
yeah,
needs to be-
gas. The gas is working the spring.
yes,
Yeah.
there is some wording that needs to be cleared up.
Yeah.
Also includes in the bill a vague definition of rapid fire devices, which classifies as dangerous weapons, banning bump stocks and anything that can increase the rate of fire of a semi-automatic firearm. Make no mistake, this is a sweeping ban that eliminates access to most modern semi-automatic weapons for everyday civilians by banning the sale, purchase, transfer, and manufacture. Law enforcement is exempt. Again, just like the window tint, they could do that. This bill,
I wonder if law enforcement is exempt on their private time, Jam. If I'm a cop and I'm off duty, can I
Right.
have that?
Can you have an AR pistol? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Interesting.
This bill is worse than any other state bills to date. A magazine ban spin is being pushed by the sponsors. They're trying to say this is more about the magazines than the guns themselves, but it's not.
Yeah.
Colorado's a test state for the experimental legislation. There's a lot of safety concerns. It's an accident waiting to happen because if you had a fixed magazine on a pistol, well, how do you unload it? You know, you're increasing the chances of a negligent discharge.
Yep.
You either got to shoot all your ammo or take the gun apart to unload it. Let's see. There's going to be, and already is, blowback panic buying, which is increasing gun sales. And there's no proof of effectiveness in crime reduction. The FBI has all the stats, and none of these bills actually have reduced crime. Over the last 12 legislative sessions, the legislature passed 23 gun control laws, with 20 of them passed in the last 5 years, and none of it's made an impact in any crime.
So why pass it? That's where it gets down to.
Yeah. Every inch is a mile when they continue taking our rights.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They take a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and pretty soon they've taken a mile.
Well,
and
it goes back to our forefathers. They're doing it so we can't defend ourselves.
right?
That's we have no right because we're the legal law abiding citizens.
Right.
You know, that does nothing for what they're really after except for disarming the public.
Us.
Yeah, and let me ask you guys, the deal on New Year's Eve, the attack down in Louisiana, was a gun used?
Didn't they? No, it was a bomb, wasn't it?
No, it was a
No,
car.
a freaking car drove off into a crowd.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
they had threats of bombs, and I don't know if, so rumor was they found one or found some or
Right.
something that didn't go off. Then they had a car explosion, that was set up.
Yep.
When there's whack jobs out there, they're going to find a way.
Oh, yeah.
How many people were killed and maimed at the Boston Marathon? Not one gun was used.
Nope.
Right? I mean, they used a pressure cooker, and it just, God dang, man, it pisses me off because, I mean, it goes back. We should all just get shirts that, if guns kill people, forks make you fat, pens misspell words.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when are we responsible for ourselves?
Yeah.
We're not responsible for
No,
ourselves.
that's the problem with today. And man, we need to vote legislators and stuff in that have some common sense.
Yeah. The thing is there's been a few attempts at these assault weapons bans in Colorado, and they keep being, they don't go through. But if we start sleeping, they will go through.
Yes.
You know, and this is the one that a lot of people are worried about just because, it won't go through. But man, the people that are pushing this, they already have like 18 votes or something, which is enough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When it gets to the Supreme Court level, does it get shot down? But yeah, it's just ridiculous. It seems like a constant fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's an attack on our freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
And the small business here in Colorado too. My buddy Ryan owns Bighorn Firearms. He's losing sleep over this.
I bet. I bet.
He's already, stopped doing concealed carry classes because of the new laws. Doesn't really fit his model anymore. And now, if he can't sell handguns with detachable magazines, what does that do to his business?
Right.
Yep.
So
yeah, not be involved. Don't be a sheep. Don't be sleeping.
Right.
Be involved.
Like I said, I'll throw the link up on our page on the show notes, and just click. It says email senators now. You click on that, and boom, you'll email like 20 Democrats.
Well, hopefully it emails all of them, Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just 20.
Well, like the sponsors and the ones that are voting. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Our holiday party is this Friday, the 17th. Yeah.
Ooh, party.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. You guys know why I'm excited?
Because there's
Barbecue.
Frank's Barbecue.
I thought because there was going to be alcohol.
Frank's coming in.
I don't really drink. Maybe I will though here.
Well, that's good because there's not going to be any alcohol.
I know where to find it.
Still a work day, right?
It is still a work day, Dave. Yeah. It's going to come in a little bit early on Friday, and it'll be fun to see everybody, have everybody in one space, celebrate, break some bread together, all that kind of stuff. We're going to give out the awards for the calendars. And I think I mentioned this year's calendar, I think, is the best ever. And I have no idea why, because every year you're like, oh, those are great photos. Those are great photos.
Right.
So yeah, we added a couple categories, or actually Ann took it upon herself and added some categories. So give out a little bit more money for the calendars. And
It's great, Jim. I've been on the phone with several drivers over the past couple days. I'm like, all right, well, we'll talk to you later. See ya. And they're like, yeah, I'll see you Friday.
Right.
And I'm like, that's right.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Big Country couldn't wait to see when I was chatting with him about his weight loss journey yesterday. He's like, I can't wait for that party Friday. Did any Bulkers make it in the calendar? I was like, I can't give it away, man.
I have the list in front of me right now. Yeah. And to answer your question, I don't know. I'm not spilling the beans.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not spilling the beans.
It's like, I don't know. How many good pictures did you take and send in?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the thing. We need some great photos. And I encourage the shop, the wash bay, the mechanics.
Yeah, we've won. I mean, even the safety guys. I mean, we included every picture that got
if we get a photo, it's worthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we put it on the table.
I know, didn't Dustin Jr. get in there before he was a driver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're
If I
excited.
sent in a picture of the old black 009, they put that in there?
Dave.
If it's picture worthy, Dave, we'd have to
I got
look
a
at
lot
it.
of pictures of 009, Jim.
I got a good picture of the old 0030. I'll send that in.
You know what we could do though, because Ann could make it from a black truck to a red truck, and you might have
We did that to some of those blue trucks, didn't we?
Right.
The Warner trucks.
Yep.
They all turned red at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing everybody, and obviously we're going to talk about 2025 and what's new and coming up, and we got some exciting changes going to happen, and we've been talking about it. The building's going to be break ground next year and all that stuff.
This year.
So this year.
So that should make next year's calendar.
Yes.
The building.
Some of the pictures there.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. We're excited. I mean, it's just good stuff, and it's all due to you guys. We call it the Christmas party, or the annual party, but it's just a thank you to you guys. I don't, you don't have to be Christmas orientated. It's just a thank you. We want to see
celebration.
holiday, end of the year, all that kind of stuff. So
End of the year, beginning of this year.
yeah, it's a
Right.
just a chance to see everybody and discuss what's going on for 2025.
Yep.
We also have Martin Luther King Jr. Day coming up this Monday, the 20th. So good day to remember him, and also remember your pay will be delayed till
Yes.
Tuesday. It's a bank holiday. And then Silent Warrior Luncheon is scheduled in February. If you haven't heard about that, we recognize some drivers here that do an outstanding job, and they do it quietly. So that's always a good time there.
That's an exciting, Jam. And I don't know if it's the final count, because we go through and we kind of scrutinize everybody and make sure everybody's met the criteria. But the last time I looked, or when Ann sent it out, I think there was 35 new warriors. I don't know if that list will hold, but it was a bunch. And we'll have to go through it. Not sure.
We got to go through it.
I've got some names highlighted on that list, unfortunately.
No.
But that's what makes it so special if you make that list. The
Right?
criteria is a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think the original list is like people that just haven't had an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then we start whittling down
Yes.
from there.
Yes.
And then last but certainly not least, I got it written down. Brother Dave asked me, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Couriers are slanging GSCs. Well, that means Dustin Courier and his family are slinging or selling
Oh,
Girl Scout cookies. So keep your ears open for the announcement of when they'll be at the yard.
Awesome. Speaking of weight loss, that doesn't help.
Right?
They got the gluten-free, sugar-free Girl Scouts cookies.
What good are those?
I don't know. I've never had one.
Kid me, gluten's all that's holding me together.
That's awesome. Safety topic of the week. Use your tailgate to put things in and take things out of your trailer. Do not climb the ladder with these items. So we just recently had another person fall off the ladder of his trailer. Part of the problem is he was trying to he went into his trailer doing a good job, sprayed it with some release agent, but he was trying to get out of the trailer with the bottle of release agent.
spray bottle.
Yeah, with the spray bottle, which caused some difficulties. His foot ended up getting caught and he took a little spill. Luckily, this driver was back to work the same day with no restrictions, but a little bit scary in the beginning, hit his head. So yeah, that tailgate, you prop your tailgate open, you are able to put things in and out or call somebody to hand it up to you once you climb in your trailer. You cannot have a 3-point of contact with one thing in your hand, because when you're not using your other hand, that leaves you with 2 points of contact, your feet, and it's a very easy way to lose your balance climbing down a ladder.
And please, you guys, I mean, we're more concerned about you, but don't just drop the sprayer or your shovel or your broom from standing, inside the trailer, drop it to the ground. It just breaks the shit.
So don't throw it in either. Don't throw the magpies.
I guess that's okay because it cuts about 4 feet off the drop, right, Jam?
And I have to emphasize, be very careful when you're putting it in out of the trailer.
Yeah, you don't
With
pinch your
what-
hands.
Well, with what you have, if you have something blocking the gate open and you accidentally put a little pressure and
Right.
and open the gate, and you weren't positioned to hold the gate open.
It's a pinch point.
Yeah. So heck, it's almost like pick a buddy. It should almost be the buddy system. Hey, I'm gonna spray my trailer. Can you give me a hand, and I'll give you a hand with yours, or whatever the case may be. I mean, the slip and falls are about out of control.
Yeah, it was like, and another one.
Right?
Hey, what was funny though is, so this is the first time I've been inside of aviation. It's actually a pretty nice office. Like
Yeah.
the inside, I don't know, I just figured it's part of Sapp Brothers, and it's just like some little.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's on the same street. That's it.
So I just figured it'd be like kind of dirty, a little smelly,
Sell some fried chicken.
some bacteria here and there, you know what I mean? But it's actually a really nice office. And, we pull up, and as I pull up, I see these two guys, and they're like, it looks like they're talking smack a little bit. And then the driver that was injured, he's like, does that guy have a JFW hat on? And I look, I'm like, sure does look like one. And it was one of the camouflage ones. anyway, we get inside and he's got a pair of Brandon overalls on, and I don't know who the guy he was talking to, but, finally, like, we keep making eye contact because, I'm like, hey, I like your hat. He's like, yeah, so do I. And I was like, hey, I'm Jam, by the way. And yeah, the one guy goes way back to Owens Brothers, he said.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I know Janet. And yeah, I forget their names, but
Funny.
yeah, it was pretty cool that they were, supporting JFW, with some swag. And they were like, yeah, we seen you pull up and we were pointing at you. And I'm thinking like, yeah, I thought we were going to fight. So
That's awesome.
But anyway, yeah, aviation is nice, not fried chicken.
Not that you would want to go there.
Yeah, it's not a place you want to
never
go.
find out.
Yes.
Yes, but I was
That
impressed.
is just so funny. I thought it was like Sap Brothers.
Where are we sending our poor people? Now it could be like,
This
hey,
really nice place apparently next to Sap Brothers.
If they make it out of there, we'll pay their claim.
there you go.
It's actually a little kiosk in Sap Brothers.
Yeah.
You just go to the fuel desk,
What's your injury?
check in at the fuel desk. You get a free shower if you're injured. All right, Soup.
Jam's got jokes today.
Man, I felt a little off all morning. I'm glad my sense of humor is still here. Jeez. Soup, you want to hit us with that high road Holland?
All righty, I'll do.
No joking, Dave.
No, this is definitely on the serious side,
Uh-oh.
but it is
Oh, boy.
really, really good. I been thinking about this high road for a few weeks, and you pull up something on your computer and you leave it open. So every time you're like looking at Paycom or something, there's this tab that's open, and you're like, oh shoot, I got to get busy with that. But
Is it about the Broncos?
no, there is a football quote at the end though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Vince Lombardi?
No. So I think everybody has heard of this quote, but it's just great. Anyway, teamwork makes the dream work
Boom.
by John C. Maxwell in one of his books. And he's one of the motivational speakers and authors that we use a lot with our Together program that we sat down and read his books. He's just outstanding. Here at JFW Trucking, we say together we can, and together we are JFW. After all, there is no I in team, and together we can get it done. As a country, the United States has a history of coming together to achieve a goal. At our very beginning, the colonies, without money or centralized military, came together and whipped the mightiest military on the planet. That would be the British. When we were drawn into World War II, we fought 2 wars at the same time, one in the Pacific and one in Europe. The only reason we came out on top is everyone came together to fight. The servicemen on the front lines and the people at home. People had to ration everything from food to fuel. Housewives went to work in the factories because their men were off to war. People collected metal, rubber, paper, even kitchen waste to help the effort. Civilian operations like the USO set up at train stations and ports, staffed by volunteers to hand out coffee, donuts, and sandwiches to the troops that were in transit headed overseas. Anything anyone could do to possibly help. The United States was the ultimate team. A team is a group of individuals working together who collaborate on tasks to achieve their common goal. Creating an environment where teamwork can thrive is the key to a great team. During World War II, there was a threat to the free world and the American way of life, but that threat was on a global scale. Here at JFW, our team is much smaller and not focused on the deadliest conflict in human history. Our focus is on the collaboration of our teammates to be the best truckers in the business. Now, this is a broad statement, right? No, not really. When you get up in the morning, do you sit on your bedside and say, I think I'll suck today? No, every person, every day, when they start their day, they look forward to having a winning day. Even when an individual doesn't have such a fine day, who picks them up, dusts them off, and pats them on the butt and says, get back in there? Their teammates do. There was no I in team. We can only be our best by working together, by seeing, understanding, and then acting. As you know, I like to call that being an everyday leader. and anyone can be a great everyday leader to help their team. Think contribution. How can I contribute to the situation in a positive way? Also, communication. No team can work without communication. Positive communication. How we can, not how we can't. Effective teamwork is essential to personal and professional success. We can achieve better problem solving, opportunities for growth and innovation. Also, happy people, a better work environment, higher productivity, which means higher earnings, and allows us to work smarter, not harder. Life is impossible alone. We need each other. In a culture where hustling is the expectation and ego often takes over, let's challenge each other to prioritize the we over me. This doesn't mean we have to set aside our own dreams. In fact, it's often the opposite. By embracing the power of teamwork, we can achieve even bigger dreams together. And the quote this week by Coach Bill Cowher. He once said, "Your strengths get you to the playoffs. Your weaknesses get you eliminated."
Oh,
Boom. There you go. I think teamwork is so important, and we talk about teamwork a lot. It makes everything easier, better, and a whole heck of a lot more fun.
Absolutely, Super Dave.
it's so crazy, Dave, when they go back and compare things to World War II and what America took on and turned the tide of that war. They're still making movies about. They're still telling stories about. They're still, and that was 85 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still being
Never been done before.
Yeah. It's just, it's unimaginable. It's, for me, it is. And as I've gotten older, the appreciation for those that sacrificed for us, it's just unimaginable to me. I'm so thankful and grateful to those human beings that sacrificed. It's just, it blows me away. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I want to, because I've seen it advertised again, Dave, and I watched it a long time ago, but talking about the sacrifices, I think one of the best movies that takes you on the journey is called Taking Chance. And I beg everybody to watch that movie. You need to watch that movie one time just to get the realization of what the men and women give up, to fight in the service, or what they sign on for, and what the families go through. And it is a phenomenal movie to watch. It's great. So yeah, people.
Kevin Bacon does a great job in them.
Yeah. But they got some good actors in it too,
right?
Dave. Yeah,
right.
There's
I tell you
just
what,
other
if you
people.
don't shed a tear in that movie,
Oh my God! Yeah,
I don't know
I
where
love
your
that.
heart is, but I don't think it's beating inside your body.
Nope.
I don't care how big, bad, tough you are.
Yep. Yeah,
it's a great.
It gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
Final thoughts, guys?
What is it? The thing with Kevin Bacon, the 7 something. This
How we're all related, Dave.
Yeah,
in
Seventh
some way.
degree or something,
Something like that. Yeah.
Kevin Bacon gets you back to knowing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is funny how many people or you run into somebody in the relationship you have with them. You're like, oh my gosh, I guess we all are somewhat related. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I'll have to watch that movie though, Jim. I wrote it down. Taking Chance.
Taking Chance, Dave. It's grab your Kleenex box, buddy.
I cry pretty easy,
but
Jim.
it's so realistic. I mean, it is, what a journey. It is. It's wonderful, Dave.
Let me see if it's on Netflix.
You and Jackie will enjoy it.
I would hope it is, Jim. But
yeah, I don't know that.
Could
Jim,
be.
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, and it's not a new movie.
No.
I mean, it's been out probably 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
But the realism of it is amazing. So
Netflix, got it. Amazon Prime, got it. Apple TV, got it.
But it probably won't be on any of those now that I bragged about it.
You better watch it this weekend. Get it?
Somebody will go, I wanted to watch it.
Paramount, got it.
Couldn't find it, or it cost $19 to watch.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My final thought, Jam, is just always looking for things to reach people, reach myself, the high road hauling. We've got some stuff for the Christmas party, or our party to go over, and we talk about different stuff. We talk about being sheep, and we talk about being, wolves, and, just all the different stuff. And this one guy I found, he was going over stuff, and he asked the question, do you want to be a thermometer or a thermostat? And I'm like, what the hell is that? A thermometer or a thermostat? You know what? Now what? You know? And listen to the deal. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is absolutely right. What a parody, I guess, is if that's the proper word of it. But so the thermometer tells you the temperature of the room. We've all walked up to the thermometer and looked, oh, it's, 70 degrees in here, 69 degrees in here. But the thermostat sets the temperature of the room. So do you want to just be the temperature of the room? Or when you walk in a room, do you want to set the temperature of the room? And I challenge you guys, everybody there, to be a thermostat. You want to set the temperature of the room. That, Tony gave that shout out to that group of guys that have helped him and made that trip, and
they're setting
doing
the
all that.
temperature.
They're setting the temperature. Every one of them is a thermostat.
Yeah.
They're just not the temperature of the room.
Yep.
And makes a big difference. I don't know, just a really different way to look at things again. And I liked it. So
I like that. Yeah.
I challenge everybody to be a thermostat, not a thermometer.
I have a very similar one, Jim, and you can tell we've been working on some leadership stuff because I was going to read Erica's wolf and sheep analogy because it's great. It's a good business leader thing, but I have an analogy that's very similar to yours, and I'm just going to go off the top of my head. And it was this woman, and we had talked about this before, but her daughter had gotten a job and she kept coming home, and Jim has talked about this on the podcast. It was one of his closing thoughts about bringing home feathers or bringing home books and bricks and feathers, what's weighing you down and stuff. And the reason I say this is more of an analogy or similar to what you just explained about being the thermostat or being the temperature in the room. This is kind of the same thing. And the mom takes the daughter over because she started this new job. Like I say, very, very similar to the feathers and bricks story, but she's always complaining about, this at the job and that at the job. And she's like, listen, everybody faces things in a different way. And she's like, no, they don't. We're all faced with the same thing. And she goes, well, let me show you how different people react. And she put 3 pots of boiling water on the stove, and she put a potato in one, an egg in the other, and coffee beans in the third one. And she let them all cook for 20 minutes, and she took a sifter and pulled a potato out, and she says, okay, the potato faced something hard to overcome, and it just fell apart. It just mushed. It's done, right? She took the egg out, and the egg had gotten hardened, but it still failed. It didn't do anything. You know what I mean? It was still, you could still crack it and break it, and it was done. And then she took the coffee beans out, and the coffee beans didn't really change much, but what they did was change the water. It took and made this aromatic, beautiful, great tasting cup of coffee, right? So the beans themselves didn't have to change. They changed, like what Jim's saying, the room, right? It. So a good way to look at things, do you just want to go along? Right? Or do you want to change the circumstances? So, yeah.
That's what we do, such great analogy. There's so much. If you just slow down, stop and think of a few, like you're saying, the hot water was the same 20 minutes, same hot water, same thing. It was water, look at chaining the truck up, it's snowing. You need to chain, you got 4 of them you need to put on somehow,
right?
It's all the same, but are you going to change and make the water wonderful coffee, or are you just going to fall to mush? Oh, I can't even do this run because I don't want to chain. I can't chain. And all you got to do is learn.
Human beings, it's proof. Human beings thrive when they're faced with change.
Yep. It's the only way to
challenge.
Thrive. A challenge or change.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Because Erica's story about the wolves and the sheep, and you need them both, but you have to have a little of each to help each other and make society work. It's
Do you want to start a wolf debate?
A wolf debate? Yeah. Yeah. To have only wolves, Jam?
No, the Colorado wolf debate.
Oh, yeah. My God.
They just released them this weekend in time for calving season.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they just captured a bunch in Canada and brought them down. And
I saw they were looking for them in Canada. Yeah.
They did an undisclosed shipment.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so much controversy about it. and they haven't let anyone know where they released him in Western Colorado.
I thought they released him in Westminster, not Western Colorado.
I wish we could shoot him here. Be like, there's a rabid dog out there. It's a big sumbitch. Get your gun. Yeah, that whole thing is a debacle.
Yeah. Well, my final thought is let's just be engaged. I think that's one thing we're going to be really focusing on this year. I think if we're engaged, everything else will follow suit. If we're engaged with the safety program, we'll be safe there. If we're engaged with, being better and giving 100%, we can only grow. So just be engaged, be intentional. Will be my final thought for the day. Also, Super Dave, did you have anything?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
All right.
Amen. There you go.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Channel 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to go back and listen to episode 72 to help find Amber's mom. Links to her story will be in today's show notes as well. Say the creed and get on out.
Sounds great.
Together
we face and overcome all that stand before us.
Together we are accident free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions.
Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all Friday at the party.
Yep.
Have a
Great week, everybody.
Yep. Be safe.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.